Hello again, my friends. I'm here to join you on this dark and dreary day to give you a little reminder. Also, a little update about things happening in my life. Now, I'm not the type to overshare, but I learned something this weekend that I really think all of you would really benefit from if I could have your ear. So, I've determined that life is my video game. I've played video games since I was 7 years old. I'm 27 now. 20 very long years just staring at that screen, being influenced by the dopamine loops that video games put you through. All the fun. So much fun. There's so much fun to be had in the virtual world, right? When I tell you that I thought it was going to be one of the toughest things to drop, one of the toughest things to walk away from, I'd be telling you something that's a bit of an understatement, because I was really attached, right? I thought it was going to be harder than weed when it came to letting it go. I thought it was going to be much harder to let go of video games than weed. But over this weekend, I discovered something. I loaded up my favorite game, at the moment at least, No Man's Sky, just because, I'm on that track to where I'm literally just playing once a week, right? Maybe an hour or two a week. And I found myself bored. Genuinely, I found myself bored. And one of the biggest reasons for that is because I decided that my life is a video game. The skills, the leveling up, all of that happens out here. And the beauty of that, even though it's much tougher, even though it's way tougher to level up out here than it is in the virtual world, one of the beauties of that little modicum of truth is that it sticks. There's no getting out of this alive, You can turn off the computer or the PlayStation or whatever, and all your progress is gone. There's nothing to show for it until you turn that machine back on again, just like that light. You got to turn it on to show people, oh, look at what I did. Look at all these cool things I did in the virtual world that don't really provide value to anybody. And, well, maybe that's not true. It provides value to yourself, but very small quantities. We have to admit it. I love video games, but they really are a double-edged sword. They take advantage of your dopamine. They take advantage of your dopamine system, and they hijack it. They give you objectives that take arguably little to no effort to accomplish. Slaying a dragon in a video game is way easier than slaying one in real life. But your dopamine system doesn't know that. Your subconscious doesn't know that. Your brain thinks you're winning, when in reality you are probably slumped over with bad posture. Your shoulders are forward because you're on the keyboard. I'm sure you don't really pay much attention when you're locked in. I know I don't. You're probably mouth breathing, shallow breathing, really focused on whatever's in front of you. I know if I installed Helldivers, I'd have a problem. I'd go back to it and probably waste hours of my life. And it's more than just the hours, It's more than just the time lost. It's the change in your brain chemistry that really is the insidious part of video games. I know how hard it is to let them go. I really do. And I'm here to tell you from my experience what I did to get myself to this point, to the point where I can keep things that I know are dangerous at an arm's length. Helldivers, it's like fucking black tar heroin to me right now. And it's off my computer. I'm not playing it because I know if I go back, I'm just going to stay back, and it's not worth it. And also the other end of that, where the things you play just kind of pale in comparison to the real life accomplishments you have. You know, going to the gym, writing, reading, meditating, all of these actual skills you can develop. That leads into my next point. Life should be your actual video game. Life is the best video game ever created. It is the best graphics. It's the best story beats if you want it to be. It's the best dopamine loops if you want them to be. It's the biggest traps too. You can't have all of this goodness out in the world without any bad, right? You need a bit of rain before the sunshine and the rainbows, of course. So a lot of people want to escape that. A lot of people will take that sacrifice and say, okay, let me put all my efforts into this virtual world where the good that I'm doing is minimized, but the bad that I'm doing is also minimized. And that's how it appears on the surface, but it's not true. The bad you're doing, you're just ignoring. The bad that you're doing is related to your dopamine levels. And I've said dopamine like 3 times in this video. Let me actually explain what it is. Basically, your dopamine, a lot of people throw that word around not really knowing what it means. Your dopamine is the chemical in your brain, the neurotransmitter, that is in charge of your motivation. Whenever you're afraid to do something, but you push through anyway and you do it and you do it really well, that's your dopamine. Your dopamine helps you fight off your fear. And having dopamine is great. A lot of people have some dopamine hacking tricks where they basically do something difficult and then they do a highly dopaminergic thing afterwards to kind of trick themselves into liking the difficult thing they're doing. Like, for example, I'm going to go on a run first and then I'm going to go have lunch, or then I'm going to go watch my favorite YouTube video, or even play a video game. I did that. And the science behind that is that basically when a lot of people think the minute you bite into the cookie is the highest level of your dopamine, right? That's where your dopamine is at its highest. That's not true. Your dopamine is at its highest the moment before you actually go to accomplish the thing, or you go to indulge in the thing. So, playing a video game, your dopamine levels are probably spiked right before the kill, right before the kill streak, right before the stratagem unlocks and you can finally press that sweet and beautiful upright down, down, down. Your dopamine precedes what you actually do for pleasure. So it's actually a pretty good idea to, if you can't let go of the pleasure at this moment, if your willpower isn't high enough for that, that's okay. Because what you want to do is you want to saturate your life with really positive, really good habits and do those first. And then do the dopaminergic thing afterwards. Because what happens is your dopamine spikes. First off, your brain associates the good habit with the pleasure feel of the bad habit, and your dopamine spikes during the good habit. So that dopamine spike helps you push through. It gives you that motivation. It makes you go, "Oh my God, I'm getting the cookie at the end of the race." So it pushes you through. Literally the definition of the carrot on the stick. If you want to simplify it. That is one of the best ways to gamify your life. You put a carrot on the stick. You put some sweet treat in front of you. Make sure it's not going to ruin your progress, though. Make sure it's not going to completely cancel out everything. I'm not telling you to go on a run and then have an ice cream fudge sundae, or confront your feelings and write them down in a journal and reward yourself with heroin or coke or some weed, something to escape those feelings you were just trying to process. I'm saying be careful of that. Don't do that. you want to front load. You want to front load everything with the hard work first. Oh, you just did a really intense lift? Go to your favorite restaurant. Get the double protein. Get the double meat portion. Whatever. Chipotle, whatever. You better sponsor me, Chipotle. I just mentioned you by name in a video. Just kidding. You really want to do the hard thing first. That does more than just test your discipline. That does more than just exercise that discipline. What it does is it gives you the dopamine that you would have in the bad habit while you're doing the good habit. And it's a great way to hack your experience. It's a great way to play this game called life. So do yourself a favor. Play the game well. Min-max your life. It feels good up here. Capiche? Alright. Bye-bye.